All right, good evening and welcome to our May 2024 Leaders Update. Very excited to share some last bit of information and final details as we prepare for our summer at Resica Falls. Just as a reminder, with this is being conducted over the Zoom webinar feature, which means your cameras and microphones are disabled. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A feature, not the chat, and we'll be answering your questions throughout the evening, both live and via that Q&A feature. We've got quite a bit of information coming your way, so please wait until we deliver the information, and then you will save your questions for after that. Very, very excited to go over a whole bunch of key features with you this evening. All right, so our team should be pretty familiar with us at this point. I'm Steve Mock, I'm the camp director. Jerry Reed's our assistant camp director. Anthony Glass is our program director. Dom Tomasetti, our assistant program director. John Bickle, our director of outdoor adventures. We'll all be speaking to you at various points this evening as we go through and look at some of the things that we want to make sure that you know before you arrive at camp this summer. So we're going to go through the roster verification process in Blackbug. Very, very important. Very, very great details, great information that you should definitely pay attention to. We're going to talk about our medical pre-check program, some information about our program registration, as well as our afternoon adventures. And then Jerry's going to wrap it up with some final pre-camp reminders for us, things that we need to make sure we're thinking about as we're getting ready for the summer. And of course, we'll have our Q&A at the end. So I'm going to bounce it on over to John, who's going to give us some good details about the roster verification process. Of course, the information that we're talking about tonight is available in our program guide. Please check it out at resicafalls.org/documents. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to check this out after the meeting as well. But the program guide has lots of details. Take it away, John.
All right, good evening, everyone. Appreciate you being on here. I have the fun role here of reminding everybody about our roster verification process to make sure that we at Resica Falls and all of our units are following all the BSA's procedures and policies. We are following a roster verification process to make sure that everyone in camp is a registered member of the BSA. Something we learned today: the adults are the only ones that are required to be registered in the unit. Youth can be registered for camp in a unit other than the unit in which they are registered in. But all adults, just a reminder, all adults attending with your unit need to be registered members of BSA in your troop. So the way that we are going to verify this is going to be a two-step process. The first step is you'll upload your camp roster from My.Scouting. You'll take the Excel version from My.Scouting and download it directly. Don't modify that, and then upload it into Blackbug under your roster for camp. The key with that, again, is to not modify it. We'll be doing an automatic check against your camp roster to confirm that everybody on your My.Scouting report is also registered on. I'm sorry, everybody on your summer camp roster is also registered in your unit roster from My.Scouting. So that's the first way. So you're going to upload that. We ask that you do that as soon as possible. That is available now. The second option, or the second piece with that, again, do that as soon as possible, so that way we can help verify if there's any discrepancies. Let's say you think Scoutmaster Tom's registered in scouting, but he's actually not, based on your My.Scouting report. By the sooner that you send that to us, the sooner that we're able to verify that we don't see him registered in the My.Scouting report, and work with you or your council to get that scouter registered. So that's the first piece. You're going to download from My.Scouting an Excel version and upload that into Blackbug for us, so we can do that initial check pre-camp. The second piece is that in camp we'll be doing a physical roster check, comparing your My.Scouting roster that you download immediately against the roster that you bring with you that you actually have in camp. So it's important to remember that, again, that this report that you download for the check in camp is something that is not edited. We need to make sure that all of the information that you get, that you give to us is directly from my scouting. That is one of the where they've moved things around. They thought they were being helpful, but unfortunately, that does not help us or you. So we need to make sure that everyone that you do edit that file. I'll answer about this for Q&A.
All right. John broke up towards the end there, but we just kind of want to hit home on the fact that following these steps and putting it into place using the Excel version of the My.Scouting download, that's going to really, all of this is really going to speed up the check-in process on Sunday. If we have to go through line by line and aren't able to do this check in advance of your arrival in camp, it's going to take us a long time to get into camp. So putting up the information that we're asking for so that we can do this roster verification, that's going to be extremely, extremely important. So John just said new information this evening that the adults that are attending with your unit need to be registered in your unit, okay? However, the scout that is attending with your troop doesn't necessarily need to be registered within your unit, okay? So that is a little bit of a change, a little update on information. So we're going to be able to kind of have that come into play for you. So that is going to be there. Information about, or a question here about leader registered in the Cub Pack, same charter org, he's got to be registered in that unit. So if the scout or the adult is registered in the Cub Pack and they're coming with the troop, they have to be registered in the troop as well, regardless of the same chartered organization or not, right? The requirement is
That is
with that
correct.
unit. Otherwise, the roster verification check won't work. All right, John, question here about Black Pug denying BSA ID numbers, and they're an out-of-council unit. Is that a Black Pug issue?
That could be potentially a black bug issue. Thankfully, that will not be an issue for us because, so I should say, it's not necessarily a black bug issue because we are not, the out of council conversion with black bug is tricky. So we're not using the strict black bug verification. We're actually running it through a separate comparison. We're pulling your Excel version compared to the Excel version of what we pull out of black bug. To be able to confirm that the name of the person registered is the same in on your My.Scouting report is the same name as who is registered on your report that you have uploaded for Black Pug.
Right,
that you have
but
registered for Black Pug.
Black Pug is telling them that their BSA ID numbers are invalid, so they can't put them in for us to have that.
That would be a Black Pug issue that we can look into.
Okay, so Josh, we're going to get into that and find out what the deal is, why those numbers are being
Thanks
denied.
for pointing that out. Thanks for pointing that out.
So there's that piece, okay. How does the process work with provisional leaders? I'm not really sure what you're looking for there, but if you're attending with the unit, that you need to be registered in that unit that you're attending with. If you're coming to camp as part of our Troop 1 provisional program, you still need to be registered in scouting and upload a verification of your registration in scouting from My.Scouting with your unit. So that's there for us to look at as well. If you are able to just select those that are attending camp that are on your My.Scouting roster, go for it, but we'll accept the full roster and do the verification check anyway. So it's not going to impact us if it's a full roster versus a list of people from My.Scouting that are just coming to camp. Either way, we'll be able to do our verification check.
Yeah, actually, Steve, let me correct that real quick. We need the unedited version. We need to know that these are unedited versions. So please do not amend your reports at all, either time that you give them to us, either in Excel or the PDF format. Please do not amend them. Because that way we know that people have also not added to them.
All right, so there you go. There's a more straight answer on that one. Couple more Black Pug issue questions with the BSA ID number verifications, we're going to look into that and let you guys know probably sometime next week. With it being the Memorial Day weekend, we're not going to be able to get in touch with Black Pug on that one. So your most recent upload will, in fact, supersede your previous upload. So please put in the correct file there. We'll be happy to look at the correct file. Any issues in previously mistaken uploaded files, we're good to go to get rid of those.
Amen. Yep.
So if you have a scout that's coming with your unit, but that is not part of your unit, you still need to upload a my.scouting roster verifying their registration in a unit. So please put that in there, get that information from the unit that they're registered with, so that we can then verify their registration in scouting as well. And then the files will be there, so we'll be able to look at them. If you put crossover scouts, should we be looking at the roster now or later? You can upload the roster now. And then if you're going to make changes down the road, just upload it again. We're going to be running verification checks periodically between now and when camp starts. So that way, if there's any issues, we're able to start addressing them with you now rather than waiting just a few days before you come to camp. So the sooner you can get that roster in, the better off it's going to be. So please get that in, and we'll just run another check once you have your crossover scouts updated to that.
And Steve, on the crossovers, real quick, that will also help you as you try to upload things from the merit badge or other advancement records from Black Bug into Scout Book after camp. The sooner that you get those crossovers taken care of, that will be a help across the board for you.
Absolutely. Question here about adults being day visitors in registration status. You want to take that one, John?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So anyone that is coming just for the day, you do not need to be registered in scouting to visit just for the day. However, you do need to check in at the camp office. And as a reminder, the camp office is not open until after breakfast, so there should not be any visitors until the camp office opens. And the visitors need to leave before the camp office closes. So that's our way of making sure that our visitors, our camp office is our way of logging who's in camp. So that's why visitors cannot be in camp before the office opens or after the office closes. So we need to know that who is in camp and then who also has left camp. That's very important to not encourage or allow any visitors prior to the office opening and then after the office closes.
All right, cool. I think we're getting ready to move on here. So just to kind of reiterate, doing all this roster verification stuff will help to expedite the check-in process, as is going to be the next feature that we're going to talk about, the medical form pre-check. Both of those things will help with speed up the check-in process and be a great asset to kind of make sure you have a nice, smooth, easy arrival into camp. So what's our next piece here?
So we're still looking for a few staff members to fill a few key positions in camp this summer. So if anyone that you know or a scout that's in your troop is looking for a great summer experience, please let them know to head to resicafalls.org/staff to fill out an application. Or if you or they have any questions, feel free to email jobs@resicafalls.org and we'll answer it as soon as we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Dom. All right, new feature that we're adding this year is going to be our pre-camp medical review days. This is being spearheaded by a volunteer named Sean Carroll in the Creative Liberty Council. We're very excited that Sean is taking up this initiative. Right now, Sean's heading to Canada as part of the Creative Liberty Council's scope experience. So he wasn't able to join us, may be able to hop on later, but we're going to go through and provide you with some of this information about our medical review days. First and foremost, right, we need complete medical forms, right? If you're coming to one of these 3 dates, to have your medical forms reviewed in advance before you arrive in camp, we need to make sure that we have complete medical forms and medical forms for the entire unit, okay? Can't just show up with half of them and say, oh, I'll take the rest of camp. We're looking for medical forms for the complete unit. These medical review days are going to take place on Saturday, June 8th, Saturday, June 29th, and Saturday, July 13th. They're going to take place at the Creative Liberty Council office from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. How it's going to work is a unit representative will come with the health forms. This is going to be an in-person check only, no electronic submissions. Everything must be complete, like I said, and you need to make keeping your own copy, right? Don't give us your originals. Camp staff and a team of volunteers are going to be reviewing the forms prior to your arrival as part of this and then hopefully then you will be able to have a much speedier check-in experience when you arrive at camp. You're going to turn your medical forms in at one pre-check days, and then they're going to be transported to camp, and then you will get them back when you return when you're leaving the end of the week. Right, so they're really turning these in advance, and they're all being reviewed ahead of time. What forms do we need to make sure that you're going to have? Okay, well, you need to have your BSA annual health and medical record, parts A, B, and C. Need one copy of that per person. All right, that includes the doctor's physical. All right, we need to have the drug administration record form or Creative Liberty Council form. 2 copies of that. One that gets turned into the health lodge with the medical form. The other copy is going to be kept with the Scout's medication. This needs to be completed by everybody coming to camp, right? Section 1 is a verification for issuing over-the-counter medications by a parent or guardian, right? That needs to be completed by everyone. Section 2 only needs to be completed by those scouts and leaders who have medications that are being brought with them to camp. So again, 2 copies of that drug administration record, 1 copy that will go with the medical form, the other copy that will come with the drugs or stay with the Scout's medication. All right. And then the 3rd copy, if your unit chooses to participate, or the 3rd form, I should say, if your unit chooses to participate, is the unit medication storage release form. This is a program that we do at Resica Falls that allows the unit to keep the medication in the site rather than in the health lodge, and is then going to be administered by an adult in the unit rather than our health staff. And this is there to kind of make life easier for you so that scouts don't have to come to the health lodge for their medications, and it makes it a little easier on us not having a long line of people at the health lodge trying to get medications. So that 3rd form, that unit medication storage release form, only needs to be completed if you're putting your medications in the site rather than at the health lodge. All of these forms are available at resicafalls.org/documents. So that's going to be 1 copy of the annual health and medical record per person, 2 copies of the drug administration record, and 1 copy of the unit medication storage release form if your unit's participating in that feature. So these forms, again, you need to have these complete for the entire unit when you're coming to one of these pre-medical check days on the 8th, the 29th, or the 13th. Okay, a couple tips and tricks to kind of keep in mind. The valid medical form is valid through the end of the 12th month period, right? So if you had a physical administered on March 3rd, 2023, that's valid till March 31st, 2024, right? So it's good for that entire month, right? It doesn't expire on March 3rd. So that kind of helps alleviate some stress with months ending midweek or weeks physicals going out midweek or something like that. You can certainly, it extends through the end of that month. When you're bringing these medical forms for the pre-check at the council office, double check signatures, make sure parent signatures are there, and make sure doctor signatures are there as well for the physical form. You're going to be turning in a copy, and you're going to keep the original for yourself. Some tips for turning these in and making that med recheck day a little smoother. Have the forms in alphabetical order by last name, so that way when they're going through, they're keeping track of whose form they've looked at. Staple multiple pages together, all right, but don't staple multiple forms together. Binder sheets and big binders might be helpful for you, but they're a little cumbersome for the people reviewing the forms. So please don't put your medical forms in the binder sheets. It's going to slow down this medical review process. All right. We're still going to be doing medical forms as part of the check-in process if your unit does not choose to participate in this early pre-check program. But I am sure you are going to be able to have a speedier check-in if you're bringing your complete units medicals to one of these pre-check days. All right. Couple questions here about the medical pre-check days. Can we mail the medical forms in? They have to be in person, right? This is an in-person thing. If there's issues with medical forms, we're not mailing them back to you or anything like that. This is a live in person, so we're not going to be able to take any sort of mail-in or electronically submitted medical forms. Okay. So that's the question for that. If an adult. All right, so a question about some adults. Adults should fill out that drug administration record just so we know about issuance of over-the-counter medication. It's there, it's simple, so that way we can reference that if we need to. And then if it is asking for a scout signature in any place, the scout should sign it, okay? It's most likely going to be asking for parents or adult signatures in places, so those be there. But if it is asking for a scout signature on a form, the scout should sign it as well as the parent, okay? So there's those questions as well. If there's any other questions with the medical pre-check days, please let us know. It's going to be a great program. We're very excited that Sean and his team of volunteers are going to be able to help us with this on those 3 dates: Saturday, June 8th, Saturday, June 29th, and Saturday, July 13th. That's at the Creative Liberty Council office. And we'll be sending out some email reminders to people about those as well with the specifics and instructions. So that way you can reference that in your email, and then also have questions. You can reach out to Sean, who's heading up this process. So thank you for that, Sean and team.
Everybody hear me? Okay. So one thing that we really want to highlight tonight is our Weeblos Week, which is our final week of the summer. And it's an outdoor adventure for our Cub Scouts. So we really want to encourage Cub Scouts and Weeblos to really get up to camp this summer during our final week. So if you'd like any more information on that, you can go to resicafalls.org // Weeblos. Get all the information you're looking for. So next up, we're going to talk about our program registration. So the one thing that we really want to highlight is that we have expanded our merit badge seat offerings. So we've added almost 1,000 additional seats to our registration program this summer. So that really should cover a lot of the, some of the challenges we were seeing. So we're really excited to be able to add more of these seats available. So we're going to talk about next up our program registration. One of the things that we're really excited for is we were able to add an additional 1,000 seats to our program this summer. So that should have addressed a lot of the issues that we were seeing with program registration. So that those 1,000 seats should really help out with a lot of those issues some of our units were seeing. Next up, we're going to talk about our fingerprinting merit badge. The one thing we want to highlight now, as you know, we've gone through with these adding 1,000 additional seats. We've had to change a little bit some of our offerings up. And one of the ways that we're doing that is by splitting up the fingerprinting merit badge. So that is split between Monday and Tuesday, we'll be offering a class, and then Thursday and Friday, we will also be offering another class, the fingerprinting merit badge. But you only need to register for one class. So that's really one of the important things that we want to stress for this. Is that it's only either the Monday, Tuesday program or the Thursday, Friday program. So just sign up for one. As long as you're signed up for one of those two classes, you'll be fine. You'll be all registered, ready to go. Next up is the music merit badge. And as we talked about earlier, as we've moved around some of these seats for our expanded classes, we have had to suspend our morning merit badges of the music merit badge. But our afternoons are unaffected. And what we've done is we have added a new class to the afternoon, and all those impacted units have been contacted. An email was sent out a few weeks ago. So if you would want to switch from that morning class into those afternoon classes, we are more than happy to be able to make that change for you. If you have done so far, there's no further action needed on your part. We will make those registrations and those changes on our end. But if you have not done so yet and you are still interested in transferring into the music merit badge in the afternoon, just reply to that email that you received, and we'll be able to work that out for you on our end and get you registered. Next up is our wait lists. I know we're getting a lot of questions about wait lists. So we are working currently to continue to clear off those wait lists as the weeks are going on. So we're continuing to clear that up as those spots are arising. So just kind of continue to keep watch on that. When a wait list has been cleared and we've moved scouts into those other classes, you'll receive an email letting you know that new registration has happened. So that's a really important thing. Just keep an eye out for that. And we've corrected all of our alternative class issues. So everyone should be good on those wait lists. And like I said, I just keep checking. As we're clearing those wait lists, you'll be able to get notification emails to let you know that you've been moved into the program or the class that you're interested in. What we're also going to talk about is our Olympic Village registration. Our Olympic Village guide is live on our website, resicafalls.org. So take a look at that. You'll see all the countries that are available to pick from. So you'll be able to go through, your unit will be able to see what countries are available. You'll be able to sign up through Black Pub. So that's what you'll be able to do for the Olympic Village. If you have any questions, you can email us at hello@resicafalls.org. We'll be able to answer any of those questions for you. The final thing I'll talk about under program registration is changing classes while you're in camp. So we really hope to have all the major changes worked out before you come into camp for the summer. But of course, there's always the opportunity to do some switches around on the morning of. So both myself and Dominic Tomasetti will be in the camp office Monday morning. So the unit leaders can come up, talk with us, and we'll be able to make any changes if any of those are necessary. Just come on up. We'll be able to help you out. If you have any other questions, you can always email us about program registration. You can email us at hello@resicafalls.org. We'll be able to get back to you and work it all out.
Cool. Thanks, Anthony. A couple questions here. People want to know a little bit more about the Olympic Village and the sign up. So if you could provide them with a few details on that, and just reiterate how the sign up's going to work for the Olympic Village. I'm sure these troops will be very appreciative of that.
Absolutely, of course. So you can go in and you can sign up for your selected country through Black Pug. We ask that everybody has submitted their country. If you're choosing to participate in this program, we'd like all units to. You can submit that through Black Pug by the 21st of June. So you have about a month to be able to look through, see what countries are available, and you'll be able to see what country might interest you, might interest your unit. And you'll be able to go in and choose that country through Black Pug. There's a maximum of two units per country. So any interest in there, we'd recommend you to kind of go in to get your most preferred country, to kind of go in and choose a little bit earlier. That would be my best recommendation for you, is choose a little bit earlier. But what we really would like to see from our units is that they are really embodying a culture of the country that they choose. That can be through a game, that can be through food, that can be through some other type of cultural activity that you're able to find and showcase for the rest of the scouts that are in camp. And all those countries, I believe there are 30 of them, if I'm not mistaken, are all available online at resicafalls.org. And you'll be able to go in and choose them up until the 21st of June.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Anthony. Sorry if we're talking a little fast. We'll slow down our speaking for everybody, just so things don't get garbled and everything like that. Afternoon adventure sign up. As long as you filled out that Google form and hit submit, you should be good to go. right? We don't need to, there was no verification email sent after you signed up and filled out the Google form for the afternoon adventures. So you should be good to be handling that. Okay. Anthony provided a good amount of details around the Olympic Village. It's a great unit run program, chance for the units to kind of showcase some information about a country of their choosing, whether that's food or a skill or a game, and all that information to what countries are available. The pre-sign up that's available on our resicafalls.org website. So that's there as well. So the countries are there on resicafalls.org. So that is there for you to look at, and then you'll sign up for your country via Black Hub. All right. Let's continue on with our more program details. I think Dom's got some afternoon adventure stuff.
I absolutely do, Steve. So, if any units are still unsure with what afternoon activities they would like to participate in, our afternoon adventure guide for the 2024 season is now available at resicafalls.org/documents, and that is going to have all of the information that you're going to need to be able to help pick your adventures during your weekend camp. Highly recommend that you bring it up at a meeting so that you can discuss with your scouts about what kind of things they would be interested in doing at camp this summer. So, all units that are coming to camp this summer are able to sign up for one key adventure. So those adventures will be our rifle, shotgun, and archery troop shoots. Our escape room, canoe trips, and any trips to Fossil Rock, Cool Dip, and Little Falls. So if you have not done so already, you should have been sent a Google form. Should have been sent a link to a Google form that you can fill out and reserve your spot. So moving on from that, so for registering for the rest of your afternoon adventures, other than that key adventure that you have that you can register for before you come to camp, we'll also have our registration in camp. So after check-in during your first day, directly following dinner, there will be a meeting outside the dining hall that both leaders and senior patrol leaders should attend. You'll be able to get some real in-depth information on some of our afternoon adventures, as it'll allow us as the administration for camp help you register for all of your adventures with each program areas director.
All right, cool. Thanks, Dom. Just want to kind of reiterate a point. The Afternoon Adventures key sign up is through a Google form that was emailed out last Saturday, May 18th to everybody. The slide says Black Pug, but that is a typo on our part. Apologize. It was a Google form, which is what Dom said. That's just a typo on the slide. The pre-sign up to the the Olympic Village, right? That is through Black Pug. So that's there for you to look at as well. So a couple of questions here. If you're signed up for a key adventure that is aquatics based, we're really hoping and looking that you're going to be able to provide the necessary aquatic supervision, aka lifeguard, for that trip. If that is not something that is a possibility for your unit, we can work something out, but we're not going to be able to make any guarantees that we'll be able to provide lifeguards for every Fossil Rock or Cool Dip trip that is going out. We're really hoping that we're going to be able to lean on some units to make that happen. Some of them will be able to support, but not every one of them, as we're looking to kind of keep filling out our camp staff throughout the remaining weeks as we get closer and closer to summer. All right. So the Key Adventure sign up email went out on May 18th. We're also going to have the link to that Google form posted on the resicafalls.org's important documents page. So that's going to be there as well. So you'll be able to access that for your afternoon adventures. Okay. Looking through here for a couple other questions. Some of these we're going to save towards the end, so I'm not forgetting about you. Dom, there's a question here about some of the adult adventures. Want to expand upon those a little bit?
Sure. So we have a lot of offerings in camp that are mostly centered around our youth. But this year we're going to open that up for adults to come and sign up for some of those things as well. So, for example, we have some of our troop shoots. If we don't have a slot that has been taken by a troop, adults will be able to come and participate in that rather than just come with their unit and kind of oversee their troops. They'll be actually to come shoot and they'll have that designated time for themselves. Let's see, where else do we have? Our VR sections through STEM that will also be available to our leaders. So if they're interested in coming and doing a few things with VR. We also have all of our shop programming adventures will be open to adults in the afternoon. Usually a very popular one, but we are able to set aside a good amount of time for adults to just come and with their other leaders rather than just be there with their troop.
Cool. Awesome, Dom. Thank you. And there's an abundance of different activities that we offer besides the ones that Dom talked about. That's just kind of the tip of the iceberg of what adults can do in camp, including an abundance of trainings that you don't need to sign up for in advance for. Those trainings kind of just come and all right, I want to take IOLS on Monday morning, show up 10 o'clock in the dining hall, and you're good to go and sign up once you arrive at the course. So all those adult leader training signups are handled in camp. All right, I think we're gonna move on to our next section here.
So another program that we're going to highlight tonight is our provisional unit. So what a provisional unit is it gives scouts the opportunity who are coming to Resica for 1 week. They can come back for a second week of camp. They can do the same thing they did during their initial week and merit badges, participate in active adventures, really do all the stuff that they did during their first week, but come back to do it again and have just as much fun as they did the first week. So scouts that are coming back for a second week can come back to camp. But another opportunity is, say your unit is not coming to Resica, or maybe they are not going to camp with their unit, they can come to Resica and be part of our provisional unit. Our provisional unit is a great experience for scouts to be able to just get that camp experience, but not be really participating with their unit. We have qualified trained adult leaders that act as the scoutmaster, assistant scoutmasters for the unit. So we have leadership in there at all times for our scouts. So we're really looking forward to that. And if you have any questions on our provisional program, you can head to resicafalls.org/provo.
Congratulations, you made it. There is no more new information that we're going to give you. Just the final pre-camp reminders. Read the program guide. Most of everything we told you tonight is already in there for you. So peruse through that if you have a question, and if not, give us an email, okay? Complete your pre-camp survey, and that can be found in Black Pug under your unit contact registration, okay? So if you have a pre-camp survey, to let us know if you need anything, as in CPAPs or anything like that, let us know through there, okay? And then final payments were due in May 15th. Hopefully everybody has made that happen, and program registration is locked now. You will not be able to change any more names or something if you have not paid your full amount by as of May 15th. Program sites will be withheld and access to camp denied. So make sure you have all your payments in for everybody, before you come to camp if you have not done so already. That's a big one. All right. Let's go with upload your my.scouting roster. Don't forget that. John talked about that in the beginning. Upload your my.scouting roster. That'll help you get all your rosters in, and just we're going to sync them together. Okay. Don't forget to utilize the dietary restriction form, which can be found on resicafalls.org under documents. If you're a scout or a leader that has any dietary restrictions, please fill out that form, and everybody will be happier. There you go. And final campsite assignments will be posted in June. We have to make sure we have enough scouts in each site, and we have to look through that once the final rosters are in. So we should let you know probably sometime, probably the first 4 weeks earlier in June, and then the last 2 weeks or so will be later in the June. So that's it in a nutshell. Everybody, just congratulations. Everybody take a nice deep breath. And we hope to see your smiling faces in camp. That is it.
All right, Jerry, thank you very much. I'm going to keep going here with some of these question and answers. So a couple different things. Campsite assignments will, like Jerry said, be put out in June. The earlier parts of the summer will be put out in the early part of June. And as we firm up numbers for the last 2 weeks, they'll come out a little bit later into June. So they will be posted on resicafalls.org. They will be added in the Black Pug, and we will send you an email letting you know that that information is available. Depending upon the size of your unit will determine whether you get your own site or if you're going to be sharing a site with another unit. We have a lot of scouts coming to camp this summer, which is very exciting. Should be a lot of fun. So we're going to have to make sure that we're assigning units to sites that you're going to be able to accommodate them, and it may require you to share a site if necessary. So there's that piece. Letting you know about that. With our very full summer ahead, some of our weeks are closed out at this point. Weeks 3 and weeks 4, in the middle part of July, they are packed, and we're excited for having such a high number of scouts with us in camp that week. If anyone's looking to make some additions or changes, you can please use the change request form at resicafalls.org/documents. That's going to be there, and that really allows the council support staff to process your change, let you know if this is going to work, this isn't going to work, and kind of keeps it organized for them. So use that change request form at resicafalls.org if you're looking to make some changes, additions, subtractions, whatever it might be to your registration for summer camp. Okay. So a couple questions about uploads in the Black Pug in general, right? So again, the my.scouting roster is something that's going to be uploaded in the Black Pug. John talked about that. Jerry talked about that. I talked about that a lot. So let's make sure that's in there, right? The my.scouting roster for your unit. You're also going to be able to upload your swim test as an attachment to your Black Pug registration. Taking your swim test in advance is another piece that can allow your check-in to go a little smoother once you arrive in camp on Sunday. So you're going to upload that in the Black Pug. The Black Pug your Black Pug registration also has the opportunity for you to sign up for your country for the Olympic Village. It should be there, and as an option as part of your pre-camp survey, right, which is all there, providing us with some of those questions and information, like Jerry said, so we can best accommodate you during your stay here in camp. If you're looking to enter partials in the Black Pug, that's not necessarily necessary for merit badges. If a scout is coming with a partial and a merit badge from another camp and you have a blue card, they can bring that partial blue card to their merit badge class that they're looking to gain the complete from. The counselor will then put all of that information in the Black Pug at the end of the week, and then the partial or now hopefully complete will exist in Black Pug for you to then access when you get home, update the blue card, things like that. So you don't have to put in that partial information. Bringing that partial blue card will allow us to do that. All right, couple questions about dietary forms here. So dietary forms, if you're having trouble putting it through on your phone, I recommend trying to do that on a computer. Sometimes Google Forms get a little weird on phone, but putting in the dietary form responses on computer should be not an issue. We have lots of responses coming in for that. That information is going right to our food service company, Culinar, and our head chef. So you should, if you're having questions, if somebody filled it out or not, you have to double check with your scouts to make sure that they've filled it out. You have to trust that they're the ones that did it if you're providing them with that information to do so. A little ownership on them there. All right, drug administration forms, those are found on the resicafalls.org/important documents. So just like the annual health and medical record and the unit medication storage form, that drug administration form is there on resicafalls.org/documents for everyone to complete, 2 copies to be turned in. So that is there. Let's see what else we got here. Same thing with prereqs. Yep, send the scouts to the classes with their prereqs, whether that is a note from the scoutmaster or that is something that they filled out in advance, like a worksheet or something like that. They should go to class with that, and then the counselor will handle it from there. Okay. Question here about the unit registration, right? If you have a boy unit and a girl unit coming, the adults that are coming to camp don't necessarily need to be registered in both units, right? But you need to make sure that both units have the proper supervision for coming to camp. So 2 registered adult leaders, and the girl unit needs to have at least 1 female leader. All right. You don't necessarily need to have all of your adults registered in both units, okay, but each unit needs to have that proper registration in with that particular, or the proper supervision and leadership for coming to camp as part of their registration for camp. Question about check-in here, check-in times. Usually our first check-in time is around 12:45 Sunday afternoon, with the last one going to 3:45. Taking part of some of these pre-check things, uploading the roster in advance, taking part in the medical form pre-review days, uploading your swim tests to Black Pug in advance. All that is going to make the check-in a little bit smoother, so that we can make check-in an enjoyable experience for all. All right. Check-in times will come out with campsite assignments in the early part of June, just like Jerry shared. All right. All right, so a couple different questions here as we're wrapping up. Scouts need to be signed up for the Resica Rangers program. That is our first year camper program. It is on Black Pug, and they can get enrolled in the program just like they would for any merit badges. All right. So that's there as well. For first year campers, please sign them up. It's a great program. We're very happy to be able to have that first year camper program. All right. And we're really excited that everybody is able to join us this summer at camp, able to join us this evening for this leaders update. It will be available at youtube.com/Resica Falls within the next couple days. Take some time to process, edit the recording, and get it uploaded to YouTube. So you can be sure to find that in the next week or so up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Resica Falls. We answered a lot of questions this evening. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out at hello@resicafalls.org. Members of the leadership team will be able to get in touch with you. This is a heavy time for questions for us. So if you can please be patient as we're dealing with a high volume of questions coming in at hello@resicafalls.org. We'll take our time, give you some answers so that way you know everything that you need to know about your stay here in camp. So I think that just about wraps everything up. Very excited for the summer that is ahead. It's going to be a great time. Myself, Jerry, Anthony, and Dom have put a lot of effort into making sure that this summer is going to be an awesome experience, from the program down to the logistics and everything in between. So we're looking forward to seeing you in camp, and until then, stay safe.